What's going on, people? Welcome back to Premzy TV. And oh my days, was that a frustrating game or what, people? Obviously, we're going to break it down for you and give you all my thoughts on the game. I'm not going to lie, oh man is absolutely gutted, disappointed today. Southampton, St Mary's away. Always a difficult place for us to go to. Always a difficult place for us to go to. And I'm telling you now for a fact, we needed to capitalise, especially on yesterday's results as well, with United, Chelsea both dropping points, Liverpool dropping points. This was the perfect opportunity to go to Southampton and fucking fix them wrongs that we did last season. Because for me, that was a vital game last season where we lost out on the top four. And again, it just keeps happening to us every time we go to St Mary's. We never, ever, ever have a proper performance where if we're going to walk away with a win. It's always a difficult game, always a difficult game. But you know what? Let's break the game down, people, because I'm not going to try to throw too much shade on it because we walked away with a point, even though I'm gutted and disappointed. But we move, people. We're 2 points clear at the top of the table. Obviously, it'd be much better if we were 4 points clear, you get me? But it is what it is, you get me? You can't win them all. So man's just gutted, absolutely fucking gutted. I can't lie. The problem is, yeah, we start games off very, very well. We got the early goal in this game, but then it's about going on and capitalizing on that. You get me? Finishing the game off as soon as you can, people. We can't just be lingering around and not taking our opportunities and chances. Gabriel Jesus today, again, last game, he didn't have his shooting boots on. Today, got into himself into some good positions and the finishing is just not there. He needs to fix that up and fix that up fast because these are the games that he needs to get us over the line and we need to be winning these kind of games. I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit strange drawing because we never really draw. We hardly ever draw, you see, people. But I'd like to hear your thoughts on what you think about the game as well. If you're new, make sure you subscribe to the content. Also, like this video as it helps push it out. But let's just get into it straight away. So Arsenal, we were on the front foot. We managed to, play some decent football, get off to a good start. Granit Xhaka again with the goal. You get me? It's a mad thing. It's a mad thing. Right foot, top finish from top cross from Ben White. What a finish from Granit Xhaka. But there onwards, we managed to have the better of the first half, I would say. I think the referee was a little bit silly in certain senses. Saka got fucking a yellow card for diving. When we seen yesterday McTominay do the exact same thing to a player and they got a penalty, Chelsea. So the referees need to be a little bit more consistent in the game, you see, because it's a joke thing right about now. You get me? I'm not going to lie, man, sitting there hurting. I wanted them 3 points. I wanted to go up into the World Cup, break, winning every single game. Then now that Chelsea game that we play, that's a must-win game right about now. Let's see what the people them are saying in the chat. He'll 2 points drop, mate. You need to take your chances if you want them. You are winning. He's 100%. I get it, bro. I really do get it. We need to take our chances. But that second half, we didn't create enough. In that second half, we didn't create nowhere near enough. Southampton, credit to them, they got back into the game. And for large parts of that game, they probably had the better of it. With Arsenal, it looks like we lacked a little bit of energy in that second half, which is very strange. Normally, second half's quite good for us. We normally manage to manage the game out well and then take it from there. But I don't know what's going on here. Let's see what Raul's saying. Bro, Eddie Nketiah, what is he for? And that teabag Fabio Vieira. Teabag, don't take the piss, People haven't watched Prison Break. You'll go and watch it, Teabag is he's a dud, man. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for players to come on with 20 minutes and fully put their imprint on the game. Obviously, the best players around can do that. But is Vieira and Eddie Nketiah the best players around? I don't think so. He had to do something, Arteta, in order to try to raise the energy up, you get me? Because we looked at very lackadaisy. You get me? That second half, Southampton were clearly the better team. And all in all, I would say a draw is probably the right result if you look at the game from on all fronts, because we are just wasting opportunities. You get me? We need to learn how to kill fuckers off. You get me? This is the same old outcome. You get me? The same old outcome every time we go to Southampton. It's a mad thing. Big up Premzy, so disappointed with the result. 2 points dropped. I get it, bro. Man is absolutely gutted, but we move. We can't let this affect us. You get me? The end of the day, we've gone to Southampton, which every single fan in this chat, every single Arsenal fan knows it's a difficult place to go to. And I think we kind of caught them at a little bit of a bad time as well, because over the last 2 games, they managed to grind out some results. They're unbeaten. They got a draw with West Ham and they beat Bournemouth as well last week. So it's one of them situations where I think we might have caught them at the wrong time. But it's all on us. You get me? If we're serious about challenging for the title or trying to be up there for as long as we can, these are the kind of games that we cannot lose. We have to fucking win these games. But, it's a mad thing. I'm telling you, I'm just absolutely frustrated with that performance. Very frustrated. The first half, good first half. Second half, very, very frustrating. Again, Thomas Partey, that second half, I don't know what he was on. You get me? He was giving the ball away left, right, and centre. But Martin Odegaard, we have to see some more creativeness from this guy. If he's going to be our captain and he's going to be our number 10, we have to fucking see some more creativeness from him, because for me, it's just not enough. Let's see what Jordan's saying. The ball just bounces off Nketiah. Martinelli should have stayed on. I agree. If we need a goal, you want to be keeping your players like Martinelli on. I do believe that. You get me? Maybe we should have took a midfielder off and put Eddie on in that sense. But then again, who are we looking to take off? Do you know what I mean? Maybe not bring Fabio Vieira on, take off Odegaard and put on an Eddie Nketiah, push him up front with Jesus. But the tactics in that game, you clearly seen Southampton went to a back five in that game, and it paid dividends for him. You get me? It actually paid dividends for him. It's just, like I said, it's very, very disappointing. I don't want to get on to Eddie Nketiah too much, because it's a team game. And so far, we've been playing well this season. It's not like we can start just digging out players for no reason. I don't think Eddie had any clear-cut chances to bag. But the team's got to create them chances. In that first half, I seen Thomas Partey. Yeah, he played well in the first half, but there was plenty of opportunity for Thomas Partey to grab the ball and spray it to Martinelli over the top. You can see Martinelli shouting and shouting, saying, yo, pass me the ball, pass me the ball. What's going on? But, it's a madness. And Nketiah takes 2 of our best players. It's fucking White and Martinelli. What the fuck? I hear that. But then again, he tried to change it up a little bit, put in Tomiyasu on the right side. As you can see, Tomiyasu, for me, didn't have a bad game. Ben White, I don't think he did anything wrong to come off either. Personally, Kieran Tierney coming on was a good decision, because we did need to inject some kind of pace in that game. And I think when KT come on, you're seeing him getting back down to the byline, and you're seeing him just trying a thing in it. Obviously, we scored a goal with Martin Odegaard, but the ball went out of play. It's a madness. Yeah, I am going to speak about Jesus, bro. I am. And if you just logged in, I just literally touched on him just a moment ago, I don't know what's going on with his shooting ability right about now. You get me? We need to talk about Jesus, Premzy. He's costing us. He's more interested in dribbling than shooting. You know what? Don't get me wrong. He has to dribble. He has to get himself into them kind of positions. But when you get yourself into them kind of positions, you got to make it count. You get me? You got to be a clinical finisher. Got to be a killer. And over the last couple of games or so, Gabriel Jesus, he's not really pulling that out the bag. I don't understand what it is. You get me? Squad depth as well. You get me? Squad depth will probably cost us this season, and another certified striker up front, not just Jesus. And this is what I was saying before this fucking season kicked off, and we signed players. I'm happy with the signings that we got, but every single fan can see we definitely need another midfielder, and we definitely need another striker. A lot of people are banging on we need a winger or whatnot. But I've always been an advocate for going for a different option, somebody like Ivan Toney. And in January, that's something we have to address. You get me? We have to address that, because the season's a long, long season, people. I don't want all our fans to drop their heads after this result. I don't want to see everyone kicking off or just absolutely screwing. I get it that we're frustrated. I get it. I do get it. You get me? I'm sitting here absolutely frustrated out my nut, and it's hard for me not to blow my fuse. But we move. We're still 2 points clear at the top of the table. Hopefully these boys now can take something from that game and learn from it and know, right, we need to start finishing these fuckers off. especially these lower side teams, because once they start going into a low block, changing the system, going to a back five, it's going to be harder to break these kind of teams down. Let's see what Mo's saying here, people. We need Ivan Toney and Maddison in January. Big shout. I'll take Maddison all day long. You know, I've always rated him. I think if he moved from Leicester into a bigger side, i.e. one of the top six, you'll see probably a lot better James Maddison than what you've probably seen in recent years, especially having a lot more quality around him. But for me, we definitely need a centre defensive midfielder as well, because if Thomas Partey ain't on his game or he's out injured, that shit has to get rectified real quick. You get me? Let's see what Don's saying here. City soul doesn't want to be striker and got a proper striker. You know what, people? We got to count our blessings. We got Gabriel Jesus, because believe me or not, yeah, if Arteta weren't at this club, I don't think we would have got Jesus. And we can't just get on the back of him for a couple of bad games. You get me? Because he has been a shining light in this team from when we've started. And look at the position we're in. We're still top of the table. You get me? So let's try to cut the players a little bit of slack. You get me? You know me, I'm the first one to jump on man's neck and tell him what time it is. But Southampton, you got to give credit to Southampton as well today. They stuck at it and they got themselves back into the game. The tactics that what's his name, fucking Ralph, put into place, they were effective. I don't think Arteta had an answer for it. We couldn't break them down. Fabio Vieira, when he came on, the substitutes that come on, like many of you have touched on in the chat, it's not so great, but it is what it is. Let's see what Jacob's saying. Referee completely did us today. At least 2 pens, and they didn't bother checking. You know what? The referee was a joke, man, today. Absolute joke, man. Southampton were getting up close, personal, and there's nothing wrong in that. But these men are fouling consistently. At the end, you got my man, I can't even remember his name, the Brazilian kid, trying to throw his head at Eddie Nketiah, but he's all passed by. Do you know what I mean? If that would have hit him, the intention's exactly the same. You got to deal with it accordingly. But yet my man's fast to run over to our bench and start dishing out cards to the assistant. It's a piss take, absolute piss take. But sometimes you're going to go to these kind of grounds and this is what's going to happen. But we have to take accountability as fucking the players on the pitch. They have to go and just win these games. But like I said, people, we move. Now it just makes a Nottingham Forest game a must-win victory. And like I touched on, there was many teams that dropped points yesterday, especially in the big six. You had Liverpool, you had United, you had Chelsea, and this was a chance to capitalise. But I'm not going to lie, I'm sitting here disappointed as well, yo, Raul. I'm exactly what you're saying here, man. I'm disappointed from Eddie, man. When you get the number 14 shirt, do some justice, score more goals. I get it, but he's got to have a little bit more than 20 minutes in it, because at that point in the game, it was hard for us to be breaking them down anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? So we can't just throw it all on Eddie Nketiah. We've got to have a look at Gabriel Jesus and say to Jesus, Ras, did we get enough from you? No, personally, we didn't get enough from him. Saka, did we get enough from Saka? No, we didn't get enough from Saka. Martinelli, was there enough? Good runs from Martinelli, taking the player on. But was it enough? No, today it wasn't enough. The first half was good, but that second half for me, very disappointed, man. Very disappointed. Let's see what Don Arsenal's saying. Eddie, Jesus, Vieira, not good enough. I think it's a bit too early to jump on the Jesus hype. You get me, to say he's not good enough. Obviously, we definitely do need another striker, because when he's not on form or if he gets injured, it's going to be a sticky one, because Eddie Nketiah, he's still got a lot to prove at Arsenal. You get me? Someone said he's took the 14 shirt. Again, whether that's pressure on the lad, I don't know. But he needs to pull his socks up and start trying to influence the game a little bit more when he comes on. But let's move at the back today, yeah, because today we've seen a goal. Arsenal concede a goal that we very rarely see. You get me, people? We've actually very rarely see Arsenal have a lapse of concentration in that and get opened up in that style, because it was a very good goal from Southampton. You know, they broke on us, good passing, they broke the lines, and the finish from Armstrong, decent finish. I'm not going to lie, he just did the job and slotted the ball in. But how we recover, the one thing I was surprised about is that we didn't come back and score another goal, because sometimes this season, and most of the time when we do concede, we then go on the front foot again, turn the fucking gas up, go up the extra notch and go and get a goal in it. But people, make sure you're smashing a like on this video as well if you're in the chat now. You get me, people, because it helps the video out, and I was trying to get through as many comments as I can as well, as and to try to get your point of view. Let's have a look what Vic saying, if we had more wingers, then I would use Martinelli as a striker at times. You know what? That's a very good shout. Very good shout. I can see Martinelli having that striker ability in him. He can break the lines, get in behind players, take on players, and he's got a good shot on him as well. So that's not a bad shout. I've cried out for Martinelli to have an opportunity up front over the last couple of seasons. But it looks like the way Arteta's playing right now, he's kind of got a bit of a system going, and it has been working up until today, and barring the United game. But even that United game that we lost, for me, we were the better team for large parts of that game. Unfortunately, they broke us down on the counter in certain situations. But then from there onwards, we've gone on and pushed and won and won and won. And now we've drawn. It's strange for all of us Arsenal fans to draw a game. You get me? Because we never really draw at all. But it is what it is. Fatigue played a part today. We lacked the resilience in the second half, lost concentration. I don't think Tomiyasu should have played. I would have put Tierney on. First draw, we move on to the next one. You know what, George? Big up to yourself as well. That's how I'm kind of seeing it right now. I also believe, Kieran Tierney should have definitely started, because for me, he has to start getting a run back into the team. You can see he's getting his full fitness. And when he comes on, he's getting effective. He is effective. So I would have liked to see KT there. Obviously, with Tomiyasu coming on, he did very well against Liverpool. And I think that kind of set Arteta's mind to think, you know what, you can play this position. But you got a proper left back there with Kieran Tierney. He ain't a shit left back. Get him in and play him, you get me? There was a few mistakes from Arteta in today's game, but the players got to take responsibility. The players got to take accountability, because that first half, we were very dominant. You get me? It's about putting your chances away, creating them opportunities to finish the game off. And we didn't do that. And that was detriment today. You get me? That was absolutely detriment. But it's like, just want to touch on the Saka situation again, because for me, that was a stonewall penalty. You get me? Man's getting dragged down left, right, and centre. You get me? We've seen what happened with McTominay yesterday at Chelsea, and these referees need to start being more consistent. I just touched on it. They have to be more consistent in the game. Over the last few games, a few favours have gone for us. Today, the referee wanted to let a lot of the play go, and personally, I think that was a bit of a disappointment, because they were on our players. They were trying to chop our players down. They were trying to get in the face. You get me? Trying to get a reaction out of set man. Credit to the boys. They didn't give him no reaction. But we want to see something different, you get me, from these referees and officials. If they've made a mistake, go back, check it, and see what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Let's have a look at what some of you are saying in the chat, people, because I know that bare people are frustrated, you get me, just like myself, because it's not a nice thing. And I couldn't really get to the game. I had a ticket to go, but I couldn't get to the game today because I've got a few commitments a little bit later on, and I wouldn't have got back in time. And you know what? It is one of them, people. I'm glad that I would have been driving back. Yeah, so disappointed. It's unreal. You get me? I would have to burn one and take it from there. Let's see what OJ's saying. Arteta needs to stop with the Tommy left back playing Tierney once he's fit. You know what? I just touched on it. We have to play Tierney when he's fit. You get me? If Zinchenko's available and fit and we want to play a different system, then I ain't got no problem with that. Tomiyasu, I think Arteta's trying to facilitate a position for Tomiyasu, because when he has come in, he's been mustard, he's been gravy. You get me? He's very good in the air. He's good at tackling. He does his attacking ability down that left side. You're not really getting that much from him personally, but defensively, very solid. On the right-hand side, you're getting more from Tomiyasu. You get me? You're getting more from him in the attacking sense, and also on the defensive side of things, because it's his favoured position. But KT's available. Play the geezer, you get me? Let's have a look at what Newden's saying. I do not understand how our online fan base thinks. I mean, how are people calling Arteta out and calling Jesus a wannabe after being the remaining top of the league? You know what, bro? I'm with you with it. I'm with you. This is what I tried to say to the chat. You get me? Don't get too hasty. You get me? It's only one result. Now we got to bounce back from this result, and hopefully, if we keep on winning the next few games, obviously Chelsea is going to be a big test, but nothing says we can't go and beat Chelsea, because yesterday, for me, United, that first half, were all over Chelsea. Second half, Chelsea came out and they were a little bit better. But from what I seen in that game yesterday, I've got confidence to think we could go to Chelsea and we should get the 3 points. Just this draw, it hasn't dampened everything that's been going on since the start of the season. You get me? It is frustrating and people are going to be frustrated, but it hasn't dampened everything because normally St. Mary's, we went and lost there last season. Everybody knows it's a difficult place for us to go to. Every team has a few of these grounds where it's it's hard. You don't sometimes you just don't get the result there. And unfortunately, this is one of the grounds for us. This ground, Crystal Palace away, you get me, always difficult. Burnley in times as well. It has been difficult places to go. Tottenham, difficult place for us to go and pick up points. But we move. We're 2 points clear at the top of the table. It would have been better if before. I hear you, people. But Tottenham are going to be kicking off. I think they've just kicked off. So hopefully they can drop some sort of points as well. And then it won't be too bad. If everybody else gained points, like, for example, United either got the 3 points or Chelsea and Liverpool, then it's a little bit of a different story. But we have to move. We can't be throwing too much shade on the manager. We can't be throwing too much shade on the players. We still got to be supporting the boys and we've got to be backing them all the way because the ideal goal is to get top four. You get me? It would be beautiful if we could win the league. But every Arsenal fan, probably before going into this game, if you ask them who's going to win the league, 9 out of 10, everyone's saying Man City because we can see the quality they got, the depth they got in the team, and how far they are with their progression for a number of years, that they're just a stable club. With us, yeah, we are trying to improve. We are trying to reach them levels. But is it too early? The squad depth that we've got in the team, is it too early for them? The players, the age that they've got, have they got enough experience to maintain it for the whole season? I don't think we have. But if we can solidify and get that top four position, and for me, go and win the Europa League, that's a massive progression. But people, them, that's my thoughts on the game anyway. You get me? I can't even be speaking about it too much because I'm sitting here fucking fuming, really. Yeah, inside I'm fuming because anytime we drop points, man is not happy. You get me? But I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to stay positive because we have seen bounce back from these boys. After the United game, we bounced back and won and start winning again. Last season, after we lost the game, we went on to lose 3 games. You get me? So it is different this season. These things can happen in football. You get me? Southampton made it a very ugly game, especially in that second half. And like I said, the ref didn't help situations either. But we can't leave the ref to make all the decisions. We have to put these fuckers to bed. You get me? Every team we play, if we get that early goal, we have to be putting man to absolute bed. You get me? Like, it's just a mad thing. Let's get a few more comments in before we dish off. I don't know how we didn't get one ready for that Tierney foul, where it looked like he got an... You know what he did? You get me? Even Jesus got a little bit of an elbow as well. You get me? And the referee just bypassed it. Even at my man I touched on before, tried to headbutt Nketiah towards the end. He only got a yellow card. My man was surprised he even looked up to think, yellow. I'm surprised it's not a red. And that's my man himself. So it is a bit of a fuckery. Maybe the referee's got a little agenda against us or whatever it is. But like I said, we can't let the referee decide games for us. We have to go out there and kill these guys off. Disappointed, but only the second time we've dropped points. We didn't lose. Good signs. Again, last season, bro, we probably would have lost that game. Would have went on and definitely lost that game. Let's see what Amjad Premzy, you down to go see that Southampton right back and do. Yo, bro, I'm telling you now, bro, we'll go and do a number on him. You get me? Because my man was taking the piss. And you know what? He's going to get himself into some big trouble if he carries on playing like that in the league because he'll end up getting a reputation for being a bit of a nutter like Granit Xhaka. And the referees will just be looking at him today. The ref, I just don't think he was on job. You get me? He was an absolute fucking moron. The guy couldn't even get out the way himself when Ward-Prowse kicked the ball. You get me? He's hitting him and all sorts. Absolute madness. But people, them, make sure you smash a like on this video. And disappointment, I'm feeling it. Just like all he is, I'm feeling it. But peace and love. And I'll see you on the next one, my people.